looked into it because they talked about it during the broadcast when they asked Dave Vassay, like, how long can Matt Sauer go or what can he give the Dodgers today? And he had pitched over a week ago. He had pitched, he started a game for OKC, went about 68 pitches, I think they mentioned, hadn't pitched in a week. So, he was built up and he was going to be ready to go. And it's a lot easier to pitch. The Dodgers put up 3 in the first, 4 in the second. So before Matt Sauer took the mound, the Dodgers were up 4-1. Before he took the mound for a second inning, the Dodgers were up 7-1. And it's a lot easier to just do your job of throwing strikes when you have a 6-run lead ahead of you and you're facing, a team like the Marlins that can score runs but aren't necessarily, built offensively. Sauer did end up pitching, I think it was 78 pitches, struck out 4, 5 hits, 1 run. No big deal there. And we'll see what happens. I don't know. The Dodgers don't have an arm to kind of call up, and they, have enough arms to get through on Wednesday. So they might leave Sauer up until, Friday and then maybe decide on something else or keep him around. They as much as, you maybe want to see one of these other young guys, Sauer can come in and throw strikes like that. Obviously, it's not always going to go perfectly the way it did on this night, but it could happen. And, he could provide some real value giving that length. Now, he did throw 78 pitches. He's not necessarily, I don't know if he was built up to that, but he's probably going to need a few days off. But like I said, the Dodgers don't really have a straight reliever to call up. They could call up Robleski or Knack or Miller or Frasso, who they haven't called up yet. But it's not necessarily – I guess, no, he probably will have to go down. Matt Sauer's going to get option for Tony Gonsolin. I completely forgot. They hadn't officially brought up Gonsolin yet. So, yeah, appreciate you, Matt Sauer. You're getting option back to OKC. I'm sure we'll see you back up when time allows or if somebody else gets hurt. And, hopefully you can bring that value in another game and, continue to do things for the Dodgers and the OKC Comets. So, but beyond that, Jack Dreyer, like I mentioned, went 2 innings, struck out 3, did give up the run. I don't think it was officially given an error to Teo, even though he misplayed the ball out there in right field and, gave up that triple. But, and Luis Garcia gets to throw the 1 inning and then Kike Hernandez gets to throw the last inning. But I want to talk a little bit about, kind of what Mark Pryor was talking about before the game. He did the pregame little press conference instead of Dave Roberts, and they were kind of asking him about different things and, with the bullpen game and kind of in the spot they are. And, he was, this is where they're at and this is what they had to do. And, not ideal. Obviously with Glasnow, we got a little bit of an update there that they don't know what's wrong with him. They don't know what exactly it is. We mentioned the shoulder hurting him. Yesterday they mentioned general soreness, of the body. We know that Glasnow is not wanting this to be the case of not knowing exactly what's going on. But basically they're going to shut him down from throwing for a couple weeks. It feels like they're going to get him back going, see what happens. And, he's probably going to need to go through the bullpen simulated game, rehab game route. It's going to take a while for him to come back. Same with Blake Snell, where he was going to throw and he wouldn't needed a rehab assignment. Now that he's shut down again, he's going to have to throw. Pryor wouldn't commit to, basically kind of a spring training timeline once Snell is back and ready to go or ready to throw. But you would imagine it's going to take at least a couple rehab starts for Snell once he does get going, just because he was early in the season. Then he took, it's going to end up probably being a month off before he's really throwing again. He's probably going to have to go that route. So the Dodgers, all that to say that the Dodgers may need some bullpen games again. They can't get Kershaw back till May 17th. They could obviously use Knack, Robleski, Bobby Miller, or Matt Sauer when they do need it. Because if they want to keep guys on certain schedules, with the way the schedule is built in May, they're not going to be able to do that with just 5 starters. because, guys will have to throw every fifth day, and that's not something they're trying to do. Now, with Yamamoto last year, he was fine getting 5 days off and then throwing on the sixth day. So far this year, he's been getting 6 days off in between and throwing on that seventh day. I would imagine he's still going to be fine on that schedule. Roki, not entirely sure. I would imagine they're comfortable enough to keep him on a schedule of or adjust them to a schedule of you're going to have 5 full days off. You pitch on the sixth day. They're going to kind of have to, or they're going to have to go to some kind of 6-man pseudo rotation, whether it's a for sure rotation or whether it's them just optioning and bringing up guys and, pitching that 6th game every time through the rotation. So there's a lot to kind of look ahead to in the month of May.